It is the second Sunday of the month, which means it's Conversation Sunday. We get to have a conversation with Rob Schellert. Rob, thank you for being here. Come on up, please. Now, while you're doing that, I am going to set my timer for 30 minutes. And when that goes off, that means we got to wrap it up. I used to say that means we're done. but I will try to wrap it up. All right. So we'll put that right there.
Sounds good.
Yeah, and really, it's not because I expect you to be long-winded. It's often I have a ton of questions, and sometimes I go on tangents. It is my burden to bear, you know.
Sure.
So I like to share it with everyone else. So, Rob, before we get into the organization you represent, I ask everybody who comes up here if they could introduce themselves the way they would choose to be introduced to everybody else, not necessarily what's on their bio on the website. So
right, yeah. So my name is Rob. I have one daughter and my wife Vicky and my daughter Gwen. She's 12 years old. How I would introduce myself? I'm a preacher. I'm a writer, artist. I enjoy screen printing. I love thinking outside the box, getting really creative, and engaging in the margins. Whether whoever does not fit in, I want to. Those are my people.
yeah,
Like I want to include these people in my life, and that's what my life is about. I've been diagnosed with hearing loss when I was in kindergarten. I flunked kindergarten, so I had to repeat it. And then, so that from an early age, I know what it's like to be an outsider, be marginalized. And so that really shaped who I am, what I'm about. A friend of mine described me as God's trash collector one time, and he said, you know, I collect trash and polish them off, or not me, but just being with them forever, and affirming their dignity. So that's what my life is about.
Yeah, kind of like a maker who works in reclaiming.
Yeah.
I love that. I mean, that's an image I need to like stuff away in here. That's a good sermon illustration for the future. So, what is you work with emo and you work with Second Home, and some of us in this room do not know these words. When we think emo, we think a style of music from when I was in college. So is that what you are?
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
So, EMO stands for Ecumenical Ministries of Oregon. It's umbrella organizations with partners of faith communities, organizations, churches, denominations, working together to learn, serve, and advocate for justice, advocacy, and as well as care for our planet. Yeah. And so Ecumenical Ministries of Oregon is the longest running ecumenical organization in this country, which is amazing. And basically we have 7 different programs in EMO. One program is the food pantry, which is like the largest food pantry in the state of Oregon in Northeast Portland. We have a drop-in center for HIV/AIDS clinic. There's another program that works with refugees, helping refugees settle and relocate. We have legal services as well for immigration issues. And we also have a program that works with those experiencing domestic abuse in Slavic population as well. And we have my program I work with, which is Second Home. And what we do is we work with local school districts and in Multnomah County, Clackamas, Washington, Lincoln County, but I work especially in Multnomah and Clackamas. And what we do is we work with local schools, high schools to identify students who are experiencing homelessness. And what we try to do is try to find folks in the community who have a spare room in their home so that the student can complete their high school education and prevent adult homelessness.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yep.
I'm interested in who here in this room can think of a time their path has crossed with emo. Okay, raise your hands. Yeah, and for others in this room, this may all be like the first time you're hearing of all of this. As I was preparing for this conversation, I was reflecting. There are so many ways that I've been in a church or in participating in a social justice organization that's intersected with emo somehow.
Mm-hmm.
When I was doing an internship with First Christian Church and Christ Church downtown, the Muslim Educational Trust had just built a new center, and I think that was my introduction to emo.
Oh, wow.
And that was a long time ago now. I know Don worked with emo quite a bit. I know this church has roots that go back to its, probably before it was even in this building with emo, and I would be surprised if Eastminster, the church that previously occupied this space, the church that still has bold representatives keeping on the tradition today, and the church that we named our garden, well, the church that created that garden over there, that community garden, have long roots with emo as well. And I appreciate seeing you today and being able to have this conversation, because it feels like we're keeping the connection alive, you know?
Sure. Mm-hmm.
What is your role in Second Home?
Yeah, my role, I recruit and support folks who are hosting these students. And so I go in churches like today, community groups and Kawana groups and so on, and talk about the need for home providers in their area, and just processing applications and interviewing them during background checks, and just accompany the home providers as they host the student. Any issues that come up, they can call me and I will provide the support that they need, or if I can't provide it, I will find someone who, or some organization will be able to support them. And so what I do is try to take, hosting a student is asking a lot, especially a student you don't know. And so what I try to do is take the energy of conflict away from the house and to try to see if we can problem solve and make it more a better hosting experience and so on.
So this is an issue in our area that I think is very hidden. When I was a youth pastor, I had a youth group of like 40 regular kids. This is back in McMinnville during the recession days. Everything's great financially now, right? But we're talking like around 2007, 2008. And there was a lot of effort put in like protecting the dignity of the kids who would be in our group whose maybe were abandoned by their parents,
Mm.
or who were going from couch to couch, or who were living in a car, or who were with a family that slept outside in a tent, or
Yeah.
slept in an RV or a trailer, and
Mm.
so on. But because there's so much effort to conceal, and I think a lot of it's self-protective, but it's also like these are people in very vulnerable situations.
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of us have no idea how big an issue this is, and I'm hoping if you can shed some light on that.
Yeah, sure. So if I get my numbers right, in Multnomah County, there's probably about 5,000 youth who are houseless, and then about 1,400 of them or so are unaccompanied youth. And unaccompanied youth meaning that they are not living with their parent or guardian, so they are on their own. And so they're sleeping in cars, or they're sleeping in tents, or they're couch surfing, or staying at a friend's house. And so it's a big issue, and a variety of reasons why these youth are facing homelessness. Simple, nothing simple, but from one end, it could be simply as parents are not able to keep their home, and so they ask the student to leave because they're not able to keep their home, not able to pay rent or have a job. Or we have youth who come out as gay, trans, and so on, and their parents ask them to leave the home. And so, or have other conflicts in the house, or they're living with a grandparent, and the grandparent no longer with us, or they're just not able in a capacity to support the student, their grandchildren, and so on. And so, and I think the big misconception is that people choose homelessness, and I don't think people would choose homelessness. It's a response to something that happened, a trauma that happened to us, and so, yeah.
Yeah. And there really is kind of a narrative that's pretty popular in Portland, that everybody who lives on the streets or outside of a house has chosen this life, which, I mean, I've seen it lampooned in Portlandia. You know, y'all remember Portlandia? It's such a small percentage of folks who are choosing this as some sort of like adventure.
Right.
If this is your situation, it's either because you were forced into it, or because somehow the streets were a safer place than your own home, like where you were.
Yeah. Yeah.
That is all so heavy for me. I imagine if we were to spend enough time intentionally reflecting on this, we could think of people that our paths have crossed with, who are in this situation, or who were in this situation. Maybe family members who took a kid in because they were either unhoused or potentially going to be, right? It's a serious problem. Now, you address some of the reasons that you've seen for teens being unhoused. Have you seen any successes in your program? And part of the reason I ask this is there's another narrative that's going around, has for a long time, that there can't really be a solution to houselessness. Otherwise, we would have cracked this and everybody would be housed. You know, it's all It's all self-inflicted. What can we do about it? We can't do anything about it. I would love to hear from you. Is that your experience? There's like, you have a very low success rate or no success rate, or do you have some stories that trouble that narrative?
Yeah. So overall in our program, we work with about 40 students, and 18 of those students are our house right now. And last school year, we had 17 high school students graduate high school from a program because they have a stable roof over their heads. And some of them have started their own businesses, a cleaning company. We had one youth. She went on to work in Salem to be a lobbyist, advocating for some issues regarding funding for homelessness. And so, and all of our students are eligible for free tuition at Oregon State colleges and universities. And so when they work with us, they get opportunity to go to school and focus on what their hopes and dreams are. And we have our hosts have such a lasting relationship with them. And for example, we have hosts who still in touch with the students 10 years later, 5 years later down the line. It becomes like family, and the host invites them to come home between semesters at college. And that's not, we don't ask them to do that, but just the relationship that's been formed. And we have students who learn how to cook and learn how to take care of themselves. They learn how to take care of things that we take for granted.
Yeah.
And contribute to our community in meaningful ways.
A lot of the things that we would think of just being an adult, a lot of activities that we just think, oh, well, that's what every adult does or should know how to do, requires some level of stability.
Yeah.
How are you going to learn how to do your laundry if you've never had access, or you don't have access to a washer and dryer?
Right.
For example.
Yeah.
I feel like asking how many folks didn't learn how to do laundry until they were in college, but I'm not going to do that. I know my experience in college was a lot of my peers, that's when they were learning how to do it. Let alone other things like making healthy food choices or having access to healthy food, and then knowing how to prepare it so it's edible, so it's actually something you want to eat.
Right.
All challenges that even us grown adults have to face, right?
Yeah. We had we were talking with a home provider last fall, and she was talking about misconceptions that she had about the challenges they would have, because initially she thought, oh, they'd be like big problems, like they were homeless because of drug addictions or whatever, but this student she had just did not know how to make a bed, and it just blew her mind.
Yeah.
Like simple things like that. Oh my gosh.
Fitted sheets still blow my mind.
I know. Yes.
So what does being a host look like? And I'm hearing that you help in a number of ways.
Right.
So attached to that question is, what does accompanying hosts look like? So what does being a host look like? What kind of support do the hosts get as well?
Right. Mm-hmm. So any interested people who have a spare room or are interested in hosting, they get in touch with us and fill out like a application form, which was just to express an interest. And I would meet up with you for coffee and just get to know you and try to learn more about you, what your interests are, who you are, and have a visit in your home to see your home. And we do a background check. And every step of the way, through the process, I check in with the host, potential host, to see how they're feeling. If they still want to continue hosting the student, it's not like when you sign an application, you're committed to doing it. It's like you're just checking the temperature, see how you're feeling, and then once we background checks are clear and the host is good to go, we set up an interview with prospective students, and the host and the student, they meet at a mutual spot like a coffee shop, and they interview each other and just to find out more about each other and see if they get on well with each other. And one thing I love about Second Home is that we don't place students and hosts together. We just facilitate, and the students and the hosts, especially the students, they choose to live together with the host.
Yeah.
And if that goes well, the second meeting usually takes place at the host's home, and just to see, so the student can see the home, the bedroom, and making sure that they interview each other some more and everything, and they can keep meeting for as long as they need to, the third meeting, fourth meeting, whatever, or however long it takes, as long as they're feeling comfortable. That's the main thing. And once they agree they want to live together, so our host and students, they co-create like a housing agreement, housing expectation. We work with one of our community partners and mediators in the community to co-create a housing agreement, expectations, like how chores are done and whatever else, and things that we take for granted. And they sign it. And the beautiful thing about that is that this serves as a rental agreement, even though no money is being exchanged.
Yeah. And
this sets the student up with a rental history. So when they turn 18, they're able to say, hey, I have a rental history. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
And so, and I check in with the hosts after each interview, see how they're feeling and doing. And then we facilitate a move-in date for the student to move in. And each student, I need to say, that has a student coordinator that works with them and works with them on a weekly basis, making sure that things are going well, any problem solving about going to school, whatnot, making sure they have OHP, SNAP benefits, and so on. And so that's checking in on a regular basis. And I'm, as a host coordinator, I'm checking in on the hosts on a regular basis and see how things are going, meet up for coffee, and any questions that the host may have, I might answer them and provide reassurances, support, extra support, training, whatnot. You know, I've been a social worker for 20 years in various capacities, so I know firsthand the challenges of working with you, so I can bring that in to support the host.
Yeah.
And so there'll be not just me, be like, I don't know, dozens of me, you know?
Yeah.
So supporting, using my experience to support these hosts. And we have provide training for our hosts, how to communication and understanding the mindset of youth, understanding what it's like to be young again. Sometimes we need to remember a refresher you know?
So
Yeah.
one of the concerns that I have with a program like this is that well-meaning adults could try to utilize it, perhaps unintentionally, as a tool for their own well-being somehow.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean by that? Like
Yeah.
they see themselves as this is an opportunity to swoop in and save someone,
No.
or perhaps this is an opportunity to ease their loneliness, or maybe they want to just feel good, like, oh, the cathartic feeling of I did something good.
Right.
This person, or oh, this person's going to be so grateful. I want the pack on the bat packing. You know what I'm trying to say. The back patting
Yeah.
of knowing that I'm a good person who does good things.
Right. Yeah.
So how do you deal with that? How do you? I worry about that kind of thing because I could see that turning to being absolutely opposed to the well-being of these students.
For sure. That's where the interviews come in and conversations I have with hosts before they start hosting to find out their motivation, to what motivates them to hosting, and we're not asking hosts to be a foster parent. We're not asking hosts to be to parent a child. And so from the very beginning, we have to be clear. This is just a housemate kind of situation.
Yeah.
Like a landlord-tenant kind of situation.
We want there to be equity in this.
Equity
checks and
in
balances.
this, yes. So, and that's why the contract is so important. Because during the contract phase of onboarding a host and student, is that they talk about expectations, and there's a list of questions to start thinking about expectations and the things that derail a good, successful hosting experience are unspoken or hidden expectations.
Yeah.
And so
that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, and so the mediator will really try to draw everything out. Like, what are your expectations? The different areas, and what are your expectations about curfew, or expectations about a job, or whatever, and so on. Because at the heart of our program, the student has agency, and we want to give them the agency, empower our students. And so they need to feel safe, they're able to do so. Yeah.
Thank you, that helps me. So if someone in this room is able to help or interested in helping in some way, some capacity with
Sure.
Second Home, how would they go about doing that? Who would they contact? And by extension, I suppose the who do they contact thing, if we know of kids who could use a program like this,
Right.
how did they get a hold of you?
Yeah. Good question. If anyone comes across a student who's unaccompanied, I would tell that person to encourage the student to get in touch with their schools, their school counselors, their teachers, someone they trust at school, to let them know. And because our program works on referral from local schools. Each school has a McKinney-Vento liaison, which is a law that guarantees the right of unaccompanied students to go to school, regardless whether they have the paperwork or ID or whatever they need to go to school. And it guarantees them the right to go to school in a school of their choosing. So they're not currently living in the school district where they want to go to. The school legally obligated to provide transportation for them.
Okay.
And
Thank
so,
you.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we've powered through these questions.
Yeah.
Um,
So if anyone's interested in supporting our work,
oh yeah, that is the other half of the question I just asked.
Yeah.
That's an important one. Okay.
So to send me an email or visit our website, which is emosecondhome.org. Anyway.
Yeah.
So just to express interest, and you can fill out an application, which is not, I hate that word, but it's just an interest form.
Yeah.
So you just interest, no pressure.
Yeah.
Interest.
Yeah.
And then just to find out more information, or
did you bring any of that material
yes,
with you?
I brought materials with me: business cards, flyers, pamphlets, everything you might want.
So if anyone in the room is interested in this program, or interested in passing the word on to someone else who may be interested in the program, come and talk to you after the service.
Yes.
All right. So restorative justice folks who are like, take a little break, get coffee, cookies, swing on by if there's any potential in your interest for this. Now, the phone went off. So I have to turn it over to the room. We'll wrap up.
Okay.
Room, what questions do y'all happen to have? Steve's going to bring the mic around. We'll get Ann first, and then we'll come forward for Dan.
Two things. This touched me because I found out many years later that my half-sister had to couch surf for her last year in high school. And I had no idea. Second, do you help? I've been running into like kids that aged out of foster care, and they don't have a clue. I mean, no one's helped them with learning how to manage money, buy food, do laundry, all kinds of things like that. So do you help those kids? Because they're 18.
Who have aged out?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Within reason, I think we do. Within high school age, and they're engaged with our program.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And you have referrals for others who may not qualify for the program?
We make referrals to other programs in connection with other organizations that are doing similar work to ours as well.
Yeah.
So we have a capacity. The need is great, so we're always sharing.
Well, that's social work, right?
Yeah.
Always sharing resources in the network. Yeah. All right, and then Dan, right up front, Steve.
How do you handle it if a parent resurfaces and wants to assert some parental rights with students who've placed?
What's the question?
So if a parent comes and is trying to reunite with their child.
Right, yes, good question. So we let the student have the agency. They choose how they want to relate to their parents. And in an ideal world, that'd be great. But there are a variety of reasons why a student may not want to reconnect with their parents.
Yeah.
And so we respect their decision, their autonomy, and basically we're hoping to empower our students to make a decision that they feel is healthy for them. And then I think that's part of the healing process.
Yeah.
And for them, for themselves, and that sets up for potential healing down the road with parents, that they are able to have establish healthy boundaries.
Healthy boundaries with parents, you say?
Yeah.
Okay. That sounds like an important life skill for sure. Yeah. All right, folks. Are all hearts clear in the room? In that case, we'll wrap it up And I hope you can come and visit Robert over in the fellowship hall when we're all done here. Rob, thank you so much. I appreciate this.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Oh, thank you for coming.
Yeah, my pleasure.